Welcome back. Yeah, part 2. Part 2.
The part 2.
And we're talking about probably our favorite movie.
Yeah.
The Rock.
Yeah, I'd safe to say I've seen it at least, at least 50 times.
Same.
Between,
conservatively,
50 times. And that's and you're thinking like, it could have been more, but at the same time, like, I'm going to go with a low ball 50, like, that's fine.
Yep.
Because I know I've seen it that many times.
Exactly.
And,
we're low balling it.
Yeah. Starting from when I was, like, one of the first action movies I ever saw, to now watching it, just laughing about how cheesy and great it is.
It came out in, what, 96?
96, so I was 10 years...
9 years old?
I was 10 years old.
9 years old?
Yeah, I was at Target.
Wait, it came out in June, right? Was it August? Well, it might have been August.
I just remember going to Target with my mom, and my mom was like, yeah, you can pick out R-rated movies, and I was like, oh, really?
Sweet.
So I got Face Off, it was that summer, so I got, like, all those movies. Like, I got The Rock, I got Face Off, I got, the one with, the Jackal was in there.
Oh, with Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis. Yeah, like, I got a couple in there where it was like, they were just the main ones on the shelf, but I was like... Tell my mom, I'm like, I can get R-rated movies.
All right.
I'll pull some of these.
My mom was definitely not that liberal with that.
Yeah, I know. I think about that back now. I'm like, wow. And then they let me get the Sublime CD really early. My dad, I first got a boombox, and I was like, can I get this one? And my dad was like, yeah, it's fine. And I was like, really? Like, now looking back on it, I'm like, the first CD I ever had was Sublime. Ever. Like, first CD boombox, first CD Sublime, like Sublime written on his back. That one.
First CD I ever bought. That was the one. The first CD I ever bought was the Linkin Park's Hybrid Theory. So.
Oh yeah, around that time too. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the first CD I ever bought with my own money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think my dad bought this as my birthday gift because I got the boombox from somebody with the CD player, and I was like, I'm going to Best Buy. And then I saw that, and I was like, it was Sublime with the guy on the couch, and he was a fucking alcoholic. Like, and I'm like sitting there, like, I knew nothing about that stuff, and my dad's like a paramedic dispatcher, and he was totally fine with his 10-year-old kid or whatever, looking at, like, to me, it just blows my mind. I'm like, damn, guys, like, you guys didn't even, like, hesitate.
Didn't even
a parental advisory, whatever. Like, just didn't even, like, oh, yeah, it's fine.
It's fine.
I love it. My dad was probably so tired from working. He was like, I don't give a shit. Like,
right.
No, what it was.
Yeah, anyways, like 96, 97, so it was like 9, 10.
Yeah. It's good years.
So, yeah. I mean, that was right, like, what, 5th, 6th grade?
5th, 6th grade, like,
so,
going into middle school.
I remember, 5th grade, I remember talking to a bunch of girls and being friends with them. And 6th grade, I had my first girlfriend.
That's awesome. Dude, I didn't until like 11th grade.
I was always one. I talked to everybody. Yeah. I always talk to everybody. Yeah. I still do. I talk to everybody all the time because I don't try to pick sides. I just want to. Yeah. I just like conversating with people. So like
time goes quicker.
Exactly. So I mean, like back then, I always talked to people, and I always got made fun of being able to talk to girls.
That's the best part, because like back then, but then eventually they're
like, wait, can you go tell this girl that I want to talk to her? Yeah. I was like, no. Yeah. You made fun of me for last year.
Yeah. And then now there's all of a sudden,
go talk to her yourself, you jackass.
Yeah. But they're like, hey, they're like, we don't want to creep the girls out, but can you invite them to the party for us?
Can you talk to him?
Yeah, because you're so good.
It's cool. Because you already talked to him. It's cool, right?
Yeah, that was.
I was like, I hate you guys. I hate you guys so much right now. I hate you guys.
Yeah, that's so true. Because they're like.
So yeah, I was like the first one of my group to start going out with a girl. Yeah. And I can remember the first movie that we saw. It wasn't Can't Hardly Wait. It was the one.
Oh, Titanic.
No, that was earlier. It was 6th grade. God, I can't remember. I can't remember. It was like a teenage movie. Because like we were all under 13, so we couldn't really see. We couldn't really see anything.
Yeah, so I'm trying to think. It was back. Okay, so like
I'll put the movie down at the bottom of the screen. But
high school, like I remember The Ring was big.
The Ring was big.
Bringing Like a Girl too, and then before that, boy, dude's memory's going shit now.
Yeah,
it's not good. It's not good already. It's not good.
But I remember because I remember doing that and like 6th grade, first girlfriend, wonderful. But
Carla and your baby, your beige Volvo.
Your beige Volvo.
Speaking,
yes.
We'll go to Carla, the prom queen.
Yes,
that whole speech too.
Yeah, winners go home and fuck the prom queen.
Yeah, really? Yes, Carla was prom. Really? Yeah. Then right after he throws a knife, he's like, "You must never hesitate." It's just like total scene change. It's like just great, just great.
You must never hesitate.
Can you get like the knife floating through the air, just like right into his neck? Yeah, that's so good.
Yeah, it's like. I mean, like, okay, so many parts of this movie are just wonderful.
Yeah,
like, not only the prison scenes with Sean Connery, but like the parts where he's in the hotel. The parts where he's being interrogated by Nicolas Cage, and he screws up the quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It cuts the window, breaks it, but
he plans ahead. Like all he needs is like something small, and that's it.
Just do that, and then all he wants to do is see Womack. Like that's really well. I feel like he knew he wanted to see what was behind the glass, like doing this.
Yeah.
Right, like because he was like he's never been let out for like 30 or whatever. He's like, oh, you piece of shit.
Well, like
shouldn't be surprised.
Well, like the big reason he wants to get out of jail is because he wants to see his daughter and he wants to have a connection with his daughter.
And can I say, quite a daughter with Claire Forlani?
Oh yes, wonderful.
That was her first crush for sure.
She's wonderful. Yes,
she's incredible. Yes. 32 Stenson Drive. Remember
that. Love it.
Yeah,
it's so good.
But I mean, we can start with the characters and the first time we see Nick Cage, he's in the FBI, and he's like he has the domino thing going where he shoots the target, the dominoes fall, and then like lights the lighter, and the hula girl's on fire, and then like he's like blowing the gun out, and like his buddy's there, and this is before the whole scene when he's
isn't the first time we see Nicolas Cage on top of the roof with his wife? No?
The first time is Nicolas Cage is in the building and like where he orders the album. Like delivers to him the Beatles album.
Yes.
Yeah, and he's like, because Carla would never be okay with spending have $100 on the album anymore. But that's great. Like Isherwood, the other guy with him, and then you see him in the scene where they're he's like, stick me in the heart with this fucking thing. Are you kidding me? And like turn the sprinklers on, turn the fucking sprinklers on. Like the whole thing is like so good because it's like they have the box. It's like it's just setting up the whole like he's a lab geek, but he's able to stand up under pressure, but he's like. It's just the dialogue in that part is so good too because it's like a panic of it, and I think he's training that guy too almost.
Yeah,
Isherwood or whatever at the same time. Yeah. So it's like the other guy's really cocky going into, and he's like he takes the doll's hand and he goes like this. He's like, "Hey, Lonnie, how's it going?" And then the gas spills out, and it's just like it's a great. I don't know, just a setup for it, but that movie really just moves so fast. Like, it's scene to action to scene,
right after the other, yeah, like,
and then like I said, it like goes to San Francisco, and you have the hotel with Sean Connery, but then you have the car chase scene. I think is incredible. Like, and there's some like goofy parts where like things blow up that shouldn't. Like, where you're like, okay, like that little like the one tire and the two tire thing in the back, where like it gets rammed into something and the explosions is like the size of a plane. But you're like, okay, obviously,
yeah.
Or the power lines that make the carts, the cop cars flip.
The car flip. Yeah.
That's just you're like, okay, well, that was just like like the cop that's like and then it flips over like 5 times. Exactly. And then Nick Cage is in the Ferrari. He's like, no, and he like cuts through, and he's like, why not? And jumps out,
well, you just wrecked your Ferrari, man.
That's not mine.
What?
and Sean Connery in the Hummer. And that's the thing, is knocking. I think like the water bottle scene too. Like I don't remember what company that was, but they got a lot of publicity on that. Like he knocks out that like the can of like Sparklets or Arrowhead or whatever it is. But that scene is like so cool because I feel like that's in San Francisco almost. Like the way they shot it and like how it's up on the hill and like they're like flying because all the cars are like you can see them landing and it's like real because it's like the bottoming out of the cars like they're hitting hard on these hills. But it's like to take out that thing and like the whole setup of that and then and just the fact that Sean Connery. I know we're getting sidetracked here, but Sean Connery being having to do with Bond.
Yeah,
Bond
and he was MI6 agent.
Yeah, and at that time, like that was the end of his Bond career in a way. I think close to.
It would have been pretty close.
Pretty close to it, where it's like he's almost playing like a continuation of it, like a Bond locked up Bond that he's getting out.
Yeah, like that's why like Britain would have like disavowed him. Like, we don't have anything. We don't have any connection to this man. I don't know what you're talking about. We don't know who this guy is.
Yeah.
Because like being in like.
He gets to reprise his role as Bond because I'm thinking I'm like Roger Moore and the other guys. There's plenty of time in there for other Bonds. But if it would have made sense where it's like he was,
T-Dalton.
Where he was, where he was like locked away from his thing and then like eventually released. But it's like because he's an old guy, but he can still kick ass. So it's like Sean Connery.
I mean, Sean Connery. I mean, you don't want to mess with Sean Connery.
You can't. Yeah, it's just the way he's like. Even the integration, he's like Alchemades, and then Nick Cage is like getting it too, like what he's talking about. He's like wrongfully in prison, like all these guys are wrong, and it's just like it's beautiful between the two of them.
Yeah, well, because Nick Cage's character is supposed to be intellectual as well. I mean, he works with chemicals, so I mean, you would expect him to know all of these.
Oh man,
like these smart.
And that's where he lies the first time about his deal where he was like, no, he's like an anti-terrorism guy, or he was like.
That's the first time where Womack is.
Yeah, he was like, no.
You set up the character Womack. It's like this slimy, like CIA government guy,
right,
and you're like, okay, well, I don't really like him, but I like Sean Connery, even though he's supposed to be like some evil dude, but like you still like Sean Connery. Well, I mean, Sean Connery. You know, there's no way you're not gonna like him.
It's so great too because I feel like he took the role, like he took the head role of Sean Connery, but it also left so much room for like Nick Cage too, and then like it just worked well. And then honestly, we've already like talked over it, but like Ed Harris, even from the beginling, like I love that guy.
Yeah,
and like I feel like I feel like from the beginning you're like, yeah, I get this guy. He's like mad about all his men. That he led into combat dying, not like the whole thing is like not being recognized, and you're like hell yeah, like I totally get what he's saying, and like I totally get his he's at the gravestone of his wife, and like, and you're thinking like it's not so far off that guy's a great guy, like it's like so you're like for me I'm already siding with him. It's a great thing, it's like
there's a lot of gray area with this movie because like even the bad guy, even Ed Harris, and like at least his second, you feel like they're not necessarily villains. They're just misunderstood. They're huge. And like it's not until like their subordinates start to turn on them later down the line where you're like, okay, those two are the bad guys.
Like those two
are the bad guys.
Total psychopaths.
Not Ed Harris and
I
can't remember.
I call him Ratface, and then what was the other guy? Candyman. Ratface, and because he does that laugh in there somewhere where he's like, like the forever. Where he was like so happy to like get in the fight or whatever, and he's like, like that laugh. I call him Ratface.
I'm fitting to gut you, boy.
I'm just fitting to gut you, boy.
But like
Harris is like misunderstood.
You're supposed to like just not really like Sean Connery's character, but you also sympathize him because he just wants to get out, just because he wants to have a relationship with his daughter.
And that's where
he wants to have a life.
Yeah,
he's been in prison for his entire life essentially.
Yeah.
And like you're not supposed to sympathize him, but you do, and you sympathize with Ed Harris's character because he just wants his fallen comrades to be recognized as soldiers and as
and it's really like his, in a way, it's like his life's work, where it's like, you know, like those soldiers allowed him to become what he did too, like, and it's like, and for him, it's like he's the only one left, and like they're not around anymore. But it's like a lot of what he is and his experiences involve them, and it's like they don't exist because, you know, top secret, whatever.
Yeah,
you know, so it's like. But it's a funny... Yeah, you're right. Like, there's a lot of gray throughout the whole movie.
Yeah.
And it's like...
And even the people that you think are bad characters are not necessarily bad characters.
Yeah.
Like, it's not until farther into the movie do you understand who the actual villain is in this movie.
Right.
Which is, a lot of times, very true to life.
Yeah.
Like, not everything is black and white. It's a lot of gray until you actually sift through and find out who the person that falls.
I would say the real mercenaries, which were those two guys that were Captain Dowd and Captain whatever, where he was like, you and your men are extraordinary. Like, wherever they land, or he was saying, just, so far, you guys have been incredible. Ed Harris is talking about those guys, right? But it's like, they're like, thank you, sir, and then... But then over time, it becomes all about them. Like, they were like, hey, you know, like, we're mercenaries, we need to get paid. Yeah. This isn't this, like...
And he's like, and Harris's character is like, no, they called our bluff. And we lost.
It's over.
It's over.
Like, we're not killing people. What do you think? I'm crazy? Like,
exactly. And he's ready to pack it in and just be done with it.
Yeah.
Where the other two characters are like, no, we're out. Like, when we took hostages, we became mercenaries.
It's like, this is going to happen. Or like, we're not going to sit here.
We're not soldiers. We're mercenaries now. And I want my fucking money.
I want my fucking money.
Candyman said that.
Yeah. Oh, it's just a unique, And then, well, it's just,
And like,
so much unpack on it,
I mean, like, and like everything. Like, The Rock is, like, itself is also a nice thing because, like, it's also good symbolization for, like, isolation, being cut off from the world. Like Sean Connery's character, he's cut off from the world. He's alone. He's without anybody. He has nothing. He has essentially no life outside of his prison cell. And that's what he wants. He wants to be part of his daughter's life. He wants to have freedom. He wants to be, able to do what he wants.
Well, yeah.
And, like, I love the fact that they chose Alcatraz.
Well, yeah, right? Exactly. Because the whole thing. Yeah.
There's just so much symbolism with that in itself. Like, it's just lovely.
And then the whole thing of, like, they chose it because nobody can escape from it. And, and there's only been a couple in real life. And
which is true. Like, they're
like,
well, because mostly because the tides, the currents that go through between Alcatraz and San Francisco, are so strong going around there that, like, swimming out is not really a viable option. Also, the fact that a lot of times during the year, there's sharks in the water.
Sharks.
So
it's just
So I mean, like, there's no really any viable option to get across the water.
Yes.
I mean, like, other than having something like a prison in the middle of the ocean, are you going to find anything better?
Yeah. You're exactly right about the currents and stuff. That's why it's like makes swimming just terrible.
Yeah, it's like you would wear yourself out before you would actually get anywhere you think you wanted to.
Yeah. Man, and it's another guy we talked about was Michael Biehn.
Yes,
my boy. Michael Biehn.
Great character in this too.
3-time Navy SEAL in the movies. Mm-hmm. But I like to reference that too because it's like The Abyss. That and then actual Navy SEALs with Charlie Sheen. He
plays a different type of Navy SEAL in each one of those movies.
In each one, too. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Wow. The Abyss is interesting too because I feel like he was similar but crazy. Like he definitely went crazier. The other guy was more of like following the code of being a leader. Like he's not going to back down in The Rock. Abyss, he definitely lost it because he was like down there by himself too. Essentially, and then
he's feeling the symptoms of the bends.
Yes, and then
which is a real thing.
And then in the in Navy SEALs, now I'm thinking that was more like a supporting role though, right? Yeah, it's interesting.
But like he plays like each Navy SEAL that he played was more of like was a different aspect of what could happen with each Navy SEAL.
It's true. In that situation, yeah.
Like each situation was different for each of those characters, and like.
That's like a pivotal role in The Rock too, because it's like it was such a because you think like okay these guys are in like there's gonna be something happening here like there's gonna be a confrontation, like you knew at least like they were doing well until that shower scene basically, and then for that to happen with the guy's device from Scrubs, that dude head fake him with a laser beam, that guy. Till that point, you're like, oh man, like you felt like there was going to be like, it was pretty like a even battle, I think at that point. But then at that point where you're like, whoa, when they just got wasted like that, you're like, dang. But then it also signified like that's when the two of them were just going to take over the movie. Like, Nick Cage and Sean Connery do their thing, and it worked out. But you're like, man, like what did you say? A 6-year-old convict and a lab rat. We're fucked.
When
he was talking about it, he was like, "This game, it's over." He's like, "Not for Mason, it's not." Well, Mac, you tell me what's going on here.
But exactly. I mean, like the mission's not over until the mission's over. So I mean,
and for him, he just like I said, he just wants freedom. He's been in a cell, so he'll do whatever it takes. So it's and really for Nick Cage, it's great too. Is like it's kind of learning to be. Adapt and be like tougher too. Like he's learning from.
Definitely adjust to the situation.
Yes.
And as well as just like overall become a more confident individual.
Yeah.
Because you see Nicolas Cage's character progress throughout the movie.
Yeah.
And gain more confidence just by being around.
It's true.
Like Sean Connery's character.
And before, he's thrown up before the mission. He's in the thing. He's thinking about Carl all the time, and he's like, guns in the drawer, in the sock drawer, and he's like, this is not a fake mission.
Yep.
Just no weapons training. He's on the chopper.
3 weeks of weapons training.
Yeah, he's like on the chopper. He doesn't know the oxygen thing. He's like nervous as hell. He's never been swimming. Yeah. Stanley's not a good swimmer. That's what Carlos quote. He's like, he's never even snorkeled.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yep. He's not even a good snorkeler. But to see him progress to the point where he was. God, when they're in the caverns.
He takes out one of the guys.
Yeah, when the caverns, he finally shoots him. And he finally shoots him in the caverns. When they're doing the whole thing, and he's like, Connery's fighting the guy in the
mine cart. Yeah.
And he finally had to pull the trigger, and I feel like that was a grown up thing.
Well, especially when he used the gas. He threw it and then shoved it in that guy's mouth and then punched him in the face.
That's like the ultimate.
And then the dudes in the mouth
rat face.
Yeah.
Rat face. Absolutely. Yeah. That's a good point too, because at that point.
Because at that point, if
he doesn't know what's going on with Connery at that point, and it's it was up to him.
Yeah, exactly.
The last thing.
Yeah, there's no way that he would have done that. If that character from the beginning was right there. Yeah. He wouldn't have thought of that. He probably would have died. Yeah. He had to go through all of this stuff in order to be compliant and willing enough to do that.
And then confident with the other guys to lie to him too, Womack and them about Sean Connery and be like, hey, no, he's gone.
He's vaporized.
And then Connery finally trusts him too, and he's like, hey, check out that microfilm. Mm-hmm. Fort Walton, Kansas. Mm-hmm. Which,
I was thinking somewhere a little more tropical.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, how do you mean? Fort Walton.
Fort Walton, Kansas.
Hey, like left field. Yeah, a former left field. It's great.
Hey, honey.
Great.
Do you want to know who shot the president?
Dude, that is like such a great way to end a movie too, because you're like, dude. Yeah, it's just great. It's great. And a great soundtrack too.
Oh yeah, it was a great.
That was like
the whole,
awesome.
the whole, like everything on that movie just like was wonderful.
Just like the beat of it and the fast pace of it, and like you're like, dude, and like I even go back to like Ed Harris too, because like it's just like his he just brings such a strong presence to everything.
It just keeps you. It just keeps you engaged in the movie the entire time.
Because when he's talking to the other guys in the beginning about like how serious he is, like all the other generals in the United States are like sitting there and they respect the guy a ton, and they're trying to figure out what's going on, and he's like, no, like fuck you guys, like I'm doing this for real, and like it's like. And they're like, okay, they're not even thinking at that point that he's totally off the rails, because they're like, they still respect him at that point. They're like trying to like. I feel like at that point they're still trying to negotiate in a way, kind of like, hey, Hummel, maybe we can figure this out. Like,
they're trying to appeal to his humanity, but I mean, like, they already screwed him over once. Like, what makes him think that they're not going to do it again? Yeah,
and it's like, or the other generals in the room are kind of like, fuck, like it's just like it just sucks. It's like a shitty situation. Yeah, but I feel like his presence is like, dude, like. It's like, hell yeah, like, I'd fight for that guy. Mm-hmm. He was awesome.
Exactly.
So, it airs. And if you get a chance to watch the bloopers of The Rock.
Oh, dude, yeah, the bloopers are great.
Whoever made that video was incredible.
Yes. I'll put a link in the description.
Yeah, that was great.
That was great. That was a great.
You can see Ed Harris just mad and totally in his General Hummel role.
Like, just in the zone, good. And then he's like, ah!
Yeah, just slamming the phone, like, trying to get all that dramatic, like, thing, but he's so into it, and it's like, it's great. I'm trying to think, man, if we missed anything, like, other than, we talked about,
I don't really think we did. I think we thought...
You talked about the whole movie?
I think we pretty much talked about the whole movie.
Yeah. It's like,
we talked about his daughter, we talked about the hotel, we talked about the...
There's not a lot of female presence in the movie, huh? Like, it's, I mean it's a little parts, but...
Nick Cage's wife.
Nick Cage's wife, and then Sean Connery's daughter. But really, it's like short-lived. Oh, the barber. Stylist. That was like so just like generic. Like,
I don't care what you're here. I don't care what you're here for. What you did. Just tell me. Do you like your haircut? Do you like your haircut?
God, that was so like just like that part too. Like looking back on it, you're just like wow, like just so over the top. Like.
Oh yeah, like that. Okay, they could not do that now because people would be up in arms about it.
Oh,
because
do you tell Picasso no brush?
That's stereotyping right there. Yeah. Stereotype. San Francisco, like really?
Really? Yeah. You can't cut your balls off with a trimmer now, can we? Or something. Yeah, that whole thing, and then like he's like, do you tell Picasso no brush? Like it's all those little things and. Whatever, the grunge, the Seattle grunge thing with his haircut. Oh, it's so good.
I was going for a grunge look.
He's like, it's something. I don't know what it is. It's something.
It's something, all right.
But you're right, like the stereotype on that.
That never would have flown today.
Which is like very Con Air-ish. We'll go reframe back to Con Air. Con Air was very that.
Yeah, there was a lot of stereotypes in that movie too.
Yeah, it's funny because Con Air was after that. Which is funny.
It was about a year after that.
Yeah, so you're thinking like, okay, they just went for it in Con Air. But,
it was the 90s. It was a different time.
It's a different time.
It's a different time, the 90s.
Yeah.
I think that about wraps it up, though.
Yeah, I can't think of anything. We did the dude the trolley guy. I love that guy. I love it. Every time I see it, he's like, hold on! Oh, save yourselves! Ow! He's like, telling people to get off, and then like it's just great because like, and that explosion too is just over the top.
Oh yeah.
The thing lifts like 20, 30 feet in the air just from the explosion, floats for a while, comes down, rolls to its side, eventually comes to the Ferrari scene where he shoots the airbag. And then somebody told me that during that, he was like, don't they self-deflate? And I was like, damn it. Because I thought it was so cool that he shot it. But like an older guy would tell me like, they deflate after.
Yeah, they like, it's very spontaneous. Yeah, like they inflate and then they deflate.
Yeah,
so you like
so you can breathe. Get out. Yeah,
if you're not killed by the impact of the airbag.
And I was like, damn it. But it was just funny because I was like, oh, okay, all right, fine. Like, I didn't think about it. But I love the scene, too, with the Ferrari and the... Well, I was going to say the coin machine part was great. Just because I liked how, like, the way it slowed down. I think that's how, like, they filmed it, too. But, like, that slowed on that. And then also, I mean... even before that too, like the Ferrari through the window, like I thought that was kind of cool. Like where he was like he took a side route to get there, and the fact that it chose like a Hummer and a Ferrari, that was like really funny. It was cool.
It's Fast and Furious before Fast and Furious.
Yeah, it was like a nice hotel, so you're like, okay, that works. Like that totally happened. And then the guy calls him on the cell phone while he's in the Hummer too. Like that was great. He's like, "Hey, you stole my Hummer," and he's like, "I'm just borrowing your Humvee."
I'm just borrowing your Humvee.
Yeah, it's like great. Does he bill it to Jade Angelo too?
I think
he does.
I think he does. Yeah,
that's insane. Think about that.
I think he does.
He bills it to his daughter, and without even like knowing that he's. That's amazing. And then he goes to meet her, and he like wants to make up with her, and like all in the back that round is like, do we bill his daughter like for this incident? Like. Eventually his daughter gets back and is like, what a fucking asshole. Like, totally billed me for this thing. And, like, at the same time that he's, like, trying to, like, win me back. Like, oh, man. That's incredible.
Exactly.
I think about it. I think he did. I think he totally did bill it to his daughter. He totally billed the whole thing to his daughter.
I think he did.
Wow. Well... I guess that's where we gotta end it.
Yep, I guess so. We ended back at the daughter.
To the daughter, yeah.
Yeah, it's a good ending.
Incredible.
She's got a good ending too.
Yeah, she does.
Wait, wasn't she in
Meet Joe Black?
Meet Joe Black. Yes, I love that movie.
Yeah, I feel like that might have been like, well, not her peak, but like I feel like that's their like Jennifer Connelly moment. Too.
I think so. Yeah, that was definitely her Jennifer Connelly moment for me.
Where you're like, wow, just beauty. Mm-hmm. Just beauty. Mm-hmm. Just pure beauty.
All right, well, that around wraps it up. So, and hopefully you enjoy this two-parter of Con Air and The Rock. Welcome to The Rock.
Welcome to The Rock. And more three-parters in the future.
Yes. We're definitely going to do this again because we need more Andy.
Aw, thanks. Aww.
So, yeah, like we always end it. Here's to you. Here's to me. If by chance we disagree, then screw you. Here's to me.
That's great.
Cheers.
I feel bad. I gotta chug it. I did it.
Cheers.